Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this is another Cooking with Kenshin1913. What are we making today?
Stuffed breads.
Okay, so we're going to make some different kinds of stuffed breads. The first one that we're going to make is a pepperoni bread. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your dough. Either you could make the dough from scratch. Just look up any regular bread recipe. These are about a pound each of dough. You could purchase your dough. You can get it in most grocery stores near the bakery department, and you can get it either frozen or fresh, or you could even buy it right in the freezer section. There's certain kinds that come three breads, doughs together, and you could take one out, two out, whatever you need, depending on what you're making. So for this particular one, we're going to use one of our bread doughs, pepperoni, and I use a combination sometimes of provolone cheese with mozzarella, or Munster cheese as well. That comes really good when you're when it's melted. The next couple of that we're going to make are going to be a broccoli and a spinach, and we'll walk through those.
So what exactly are you doing right now?
I'm just kind of stretching the dough, kind of playing with it, so I can get it to the point of where I want it and how big I want it. These here, you can use them any time of the year. When you're having a party, a little get together, you just feel like kind of making your own hors d'oeuvres.
Right, and this is one recipe that we usually do on New Year's Eve. It is actually New Year's Eve as we're taping this, and we like to do stuffed breads for New Year's Eve. Because it's a fun little thing. I don't know, it's just something we do.
I think we've done previously the hot antipasto. Right. It's kind of a New Year's Eve thing as well. Party thing.
Some people want to know how we make stuffed bread, so we're going to show you. I mean, honestly, it's just kind of having your own dough and then getting it to where you want it.
And you can use a rolling pin as well.
Yeah, so you want to get it what's the thickness you're thinking?
Maybe about a ½ inch thick. You don't want it too thick, and sometimes it gives you a pain in the neck because it keeps rolling back.
Yeah.
But that's why you just got to have your patience with it.
Yeah, and don't worry about it. If it's too sticky, add a little flour to the whole thing.
And what you can put into your stuffed breads is limitless. You could do the two kind that we're going to be doing, broccoli and spinach. Many times when I'm making a lot of breads, I'll do a broccoli with sausage. You can do meatball. You can do chicken parmesan. You cut up. You could do eggplant. Right. Whatever your heart desires. Right. Just a sausage one. Kind of got it to where I want it, and it's behaving itself. It's not pushing back too much.
Yeah, because this dough's been out a bit, so it's being a little fresh.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start layering our pepperoni. With this, you don't need to add any olive oil. As you can see, the oils from the pepperoni are going to serve this good.
And I think you said we're using about a ½ pound of pepperoni here. And like you said, we could do ham.
If you want it more stuffed, you can ham bread. Oh my God! Like I said, it's limitless. You can put as much as you want in it. I'm going to add a little bit of mozzarella. I'm going to put a few slices of provolone.
Yeah. But yeah, so with this, the recipe is really good. And it's good because you can kind of do whatever you want. And then you don't have to pay for it. If you can make your own, if you can find your own dough and you want to make it yourself, it's probably better than if you want to buy it. Because everything's usually better homemade for the most part.
Now, I do like a 2-layer kind of thing here, okay? As I said, if you would like it thicker with more of the meat in it, then that's fine. Okay, now what I do is we're going to kind of jelly roll this, okay?
See how she's doing it? She's taking most of it from one side over there and then moving it over like that.
And then what you're going to do,
you're going to flip it, right?
Going to flip it so that you have seam side down.
What's that green over there?
I think that was from the candy that was on the pan.
Alright, no.
Okay.
So we put the bread down seam side down at this point.
And then what I do is I usually make a couple of holes in it because you got to let the steam out.
Right, yeah, and if you don't let the steam or the oil from the cheeses and even the pepperoni come out, it's going to make a huge mess in the inside and might even explode the dough.
Yeah.
So now we're going to throw this in the, what, 350 oven?
350 oven for about a half hour. You're going to just keep an eye on it till it gets golden brown. We're on to our second dough. And I started to stretch it out. Usually it's easier to work with the dough when it's room temperature. So if you had it frozen, it's better to leave it out covered. The next one I'm going to do is the spinach. Now we used frozen spinach. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that all of the water is out, because as this gets warm, it'll become a watery dough.
Right, and you don't want that. You don't want this excess water
right
in the dough, inside the dough. Then you get screwed with water.
So I pressed some out. You can see it in the bowl.
Look at him. There you go. Yeah, so you get a decent amount, and that's not even the amount. We kind of pre-squeezed it a little bit.
But I usually take my hand as well.
Yeah. It's not hot.
Push it down. No, this is not hot now. I let it cool down.
But yeah, you want to just get rid of as much liquid as you possibly can.
Yeah, spinach holds a lot of. Now you also could do this with fresh spinach. My husband makes one. It's with endive. It's a green that is a chicory. I'm sorry, with chicory. And sometimes chicory has a little bit of a bitter taste, but he makes it and he just puts a little bit of olive oil on your bread. He takes the fresh chicory, puts it in, puts salt and pepper on it, and then folds it over, and it cooks right inside the bread dough. So you could actually do that with spinach as well. So this here is going to have spinach, chopped black olives.
Hi, Grandma. Ta-da!
Hello.
So we're adding chopped olives to our spinach mixture.
Okay, we're going to put some garlic. This is fresh chopped up garlic.
Right, now, would you use a whole can of olives?
No, I used about a half a can.
So yeah, I'll have the...
You could actually buy the olives all chopped up if you want.
Right.
To this, I'm going to add some
Probably a tablespoon of garlic.
So in here we have our spinach, chopped garlic, and the olives, black olives. I'm going to put a little bit of hot pepper flakes, maybe about 1/4 of a teaspoon or so, and about 1/4 cup of the grated cheese.
Pecorino Romano.
I learned this recipe a long time ago. I used to like the different stuffed breads, and we had a neighbor who lived next door to my mom. She was a phenomenal cook, and she used to make spinach bread, and she brought some over to us one time, and it was absolutely delicious. And I asked her, what do you do? And so she gave me, this is the recipe with the olives and the cheese. So what we're going to do now is to just put this into our dough.
Yeah, and this one might be a little more tricky to fold up, but you want to keep, what you say, about 1/2 inch on the sides so that you can roll it up pretty nicely. And yeah, heck, just honestly, if you put this on a pizza tray and just drizzled some olive oil on top, I'd eat that. Well,
Just like this too.
well, not the olives. I don't like olives, but
Oh,
that
I
looks
love
beautiful.
olives. Okay. So this one, I'm kind of just folding it in half and then in half again.
Yeah, you want to kind of make sure to try and seal it too, like my mom's doing down in the corners. Just try and seal it up a little bit to keep it from any of the containment or any of the outside coming inside or the inside going outside.
See, and then sometimes what I do to tell the difference between the different breads, I'll make a little knob and put it on here, so you could have 2 knobs for one kind of bread, and 1 knob for one kind of bread, and 3 knobs, and 4 knobs, and 5 knobs.
So yeah, we're gonna put some holes in once again for the air to come out, any liquids too.
And there we are.
This will go on a parchment paper lined tray, baking sheet. Go in the oven once again for 30 minutes.
So now we're going to work with our broccoli. These are all kind of flowerets. If you find any that are a little big, you can cut them a little bit. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to this. You could add a little bit of olive oil to the spinach one as well.
Help!
Wait a minute. Shh. We're doing the cooking. We're going to add some black pepper.
Stella, can you give us the garlic? The garlic is right next to you.
Yeah, garlic.
Right here. Right here.
So yeah, we're adding some black pepper.
Can I shake it?
Yeah. Go ahead. Shake it. Shake some in here. Very good. Thank you. Good girl. Again, about that's about 2 tablespoons of garlic. And that's it. Now, as I said, sometimes I will fry up some sausage and add that to it. This is a microwavable. This is a microwavable spinach, broccoli, and so you want to cook it first because broccoli would take quite a long time to cook in here.
So now once again, you're just going to add it to the dough.
The dough?
Yeah, the dough. And you want to make sure to leave some space along the edges so that you can hold it. Now, if you want, you can add some cheese. Honestly, this is the bare bones recipes of most of the stuff. If you want to get a little more fancy,
you could add cheese to anything.
Yeah, you could add cheese. Like I was talking to my mom. I was like, "You sure you don't add cheese?" This is like, no, you don't have to.
I have a little extra, so I'm gonna add a little.
Yeah, you can add cheese. You don't have to. Oh, you add mousse. I thought you were just gonna add grated.
No, I'm gonna put a little mousse in here.
Yeah, a little mousse goes a long way.
Can I have cheese too?
Sure.
We have Stella with us today, if you haven't noticed or heard. Very good.
Good.
Okay. Now I'm gonna fold this over.
Hey, okay.
Whoops, be careful.
And once again, you want to do it so that you pinch the ends so that you keep it almost airtight, or well, not airtight, but you don't want any leakage.
Is that a tent?
No.
It's a bread.
It's a big sleeping bag for food.
Okay, now.
It looks like a tent. Grandma, it looks like a tent.
Remember how I said we did one for spinach? So you'll have to make up your own little diagram for what each bread means.
Let me help you, Grandma. Let me help you.
Okay, here. You do one.
Okay.
Make a ball and put it on the top. Put it over here.
It's got stuck on me.
It's stuck on you. We'll put it right there, okay? And we're making our ear pockets. Steam pockets.
I'm making...
Okay, and this is going to go into the oven.
Alright, here we are. Our pepperoni bread, the 1 out of 3, is done. And we are just letting it cool for about 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes before we cut into it.
Okay, so here are our breads. This is the pepperoni, the spinach, and the broccoli.
Alright, let's cut them up. You don't have to cut them in half like that, but yeah, we are using a serrated knife. We're cutting them in half so you can see the awesomeness that is inside. And how flaky the outside is. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, now we're cutting into the spinach. No laughing. And look at that spinach one. Look at it. Watch out. Thank you.
It's very, very, still
very hot. So it's very hot still. Probably could have waited another 10-15 minutes. 10-15 minutes to cut it. But, why not cut it now, right? Here is the broccoli bread right here. Looking terrific. Like I said, it was a little soggy on the bottom, but it came out perfectly fine. So here is our breads. So let's eat them. So here is our breads, our stuffed breads, as you might have seen earlier. We have our broccoli and our spinach and our pepperoni. So I'm going to take a big bite of the pepperoni. I'm going to break it in half. I'm going to eat the bread and the pepperoni. Wow, which one are you going to take?
I'm going to take spinach.
Very good. If you use a lot of cheese in here, make it really cheesy. It's really good. Get a high quality pepperoni, but yeah, the bread is really good, nice and crunchy. Pepperoni is good, and the cheese is great. How's this spinach one?
Good.
Now let's try the broccoli. Kind of fell apart a little bit, but that's all right.
It's overstuffed.
Very good. Everything's cooked inside. Get that nice garlic that goes great with broccoli. And honestly, this is a perfect, easy dish as long as you get your own dough. I mean, maybe one day we'll show you how to make our own dough as well. So I've been Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And it's been another Cooking with Kenshin1913.
Enjoying happy eating.